everybody, Mr. Travel here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Friends, if you would be so kind, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when we upload videos or go live. Thank you so much for the love and support. And now, friends, here's a video that I knew when I booked the MSC World America, I knew this was a video that I was going to have to do. And so I know there's a lot of you out here that may have the same questions that I did, which is, of course, the MSC World America looks an awful lot like the Oasis class. I guess it kind of could look sort of like the Star class too, but I'm going to assume by the timeline and when the other ships were built that they kind of went off of mimicking the Oasis class from Royal Caribbean. So what I want to do is a video doing some comparisons on some key metrics between the MSC World America and the Oasis class ships to help you make an informed decision to see which one may or may not be right for you. Of course, we've already uploaded our tour of the MSC World America, and we've also uploaded our pros and cons. And for comparison, we've been on every Oasis class ship except for the original, the Oasis. We were scheduled to book that many years ago, but that particular cruise that we had, it was actually a group cruise that we had. The crane fell on the Oasis while it was in dry dock in the Bahamas, and we had to cancel our trip. So we have yet to do the Oasis, the actual Oasis ship, but we've done all the other Oasis class ships. And so, you know, we're very educated on that class of ship, and we've just gotten off the World America. Let's dig in and talk about the differences between the two to help you make that decision on whether or not you would like to try either the World America or an Oasis class ship. All right, so let's dive into it. Who's going to win the battle? Is it going to be Royal Caribbean or is it going to be MSC? Let's check it out and see. Let's start off with the size differences. Okay, off initial, looks at them, if you look at them, they look very similar. The MSC World America comes in at 215,863 gross tons, and it is 1,093 feet long, 1,093 feet long. The crew it can hold is 2,138, and it has a guest capacity of 6,762. Now let's compare that to the Oasis class ships. And I kind of did some averages here in between the ships to give you a general idea, because the ships are very close in size, just some small differences. So Oasis class ships go from anywhere from 225,000 gross tons to 236,860 gross tons. So already the smallest Oasis class ship is 10,000 gross tons bigger than the MSC World America. Also, the ships range in size from 1,187, so 1,187 feet to 1,188 feet. So the ships are roughly about 190 to 100 feet longer than the MSC World America. Crew, it holds a little bit more, 2,290, and guests can range anywhere from 6,686, which is a little bit smaller than the World America, to 6,988 for that's the Wonder of the Seas, obviously a little bit more than the World America. So when it comes to size, it's pretty close there. The Oasis class does have them edged out a bit in the length and the gross tons and the amount of passengers that they can have on board. But as we dig in a little bit further, is bigger necessarily better? But we give the size to Royal Caribbean. All right, so let's jump down next to the entertainment. So both ships have several theaters, right? The MSC World America has the main theater at the front. The Oasis class has their main theaters at the front of the ship. The World America has the lounge all the way at the back of the ship, which is a two-story lounge, which also does shows in the evening, and they project images along the shades come down over the windows, and it projects images over the back. Kind of sort of reminds me of the Quantum class theater at the back of the ship, so it's kind of sort of like that. The Oasis class ships, they will have the ice theaters, which also turn into kind of theaters. They have the aqua theaters. So there's some different venues in there. So what I'm getting at is both sets of ships have several different venues or theaters that they can use to provide entertainment. They both have a main theme show for their ships. The MSC World America, theirs currently is the Dirty Dancing. However, I was expecting it to kind of be a play, and it wasn't. It was just a musical, kind of celebrating the music. So both sets of ships have live music everywhere. They have DJs everywhere. There's always a comedy show going on here or there that you got to book ahead of time or you ain't going to get in. What else? I mean, there's all kind of different theaters and venues, entertainment options galore for both of these ships. However, I will say that I'm going to have the thing that I think that edges out Royal Caribbean from not just MSC World America, but from its other competitors is the Aqua Theater on board the Oasis class ships. I mean, that's a game changer, and that's something that nobody else has mimicked at all. And I think a lot of other people really enjoy the Aqua Theater shows that are going on there. And then the Aqua Theater is also just kind of double as a chill spot when not being used. So I'm gonna have to give the entertainment edged out to Royal Caribbean. All right, so next issue, let's talk about the audiences or the guest kind of makeup that you'll have on board both the ships. So here's what I'm going to tell you, and I've made this disclaimer a lot with MSC. Both ships are pretty diverse, right? When you go on board the ship, you go on an Oasis class ship, you're bound to meet people from anywhere. I have met people from Australia, I've met people from Israel, I've met people from Germany, right? I've met people from all over the world on there. But I would say it's mostly Americans on there with some diversity sprinkled in. MSC right now, at least for the World America, tends to be the opposite. I think it's more European, South American, that kind of thing, with some United States sprinkled in. To the point that some of the venues you go to, like when we went to the silent party, the host for the silent party was speaking nothing but Spanish. So that's because that's how many people from Latin American countries were on board the ship at that time. So I don't know if it's like that all the time, but when we first started cruising MSC back in the day, when it first came on there, it was like that quite a bit. But now the MSC has got it into the United States market more. When you do the weekend cruises, it tends to be more American with some diversity sprinkled in, kind of like the Oasis class. But you have to remember, MSC is huge all over the world. They're huge in South America. They're huge in Europe, the Mediterranean. There are huge ships. So when those people come to the United States from those countries, that's what they're familiar with, that's what they're comfortable with. So they naturally migrate to MSC. So while MSC is trying to really break into the United States market, they're still trying to, those people are their base. So they're still trying to placate to their base to give them an enjoyable time in the Caribbean and the Bahamas as well. So just know that going in, I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people and experiencing cultures from all over the world. So to me, it's not a game breaker at all. I enjoy meeting people from all over. Get out your comfort zone. So I don't know who we give that one to. I guess we give them we'll give them a tie on the audience. So it just depends on what you like and what you're comfortable with. All right, so let's move on to the layout now. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm giving this one to Royal Caribbean. Oasis class ships are very comfortable to go to venues from front to back on almost any deck that you go on this ship. You can go front to back, go upstairs, go downstairs. It flows very well throughout the ship to get to the different venues. The elevators are placed very well. So even though it's a big ship, it doesn't necessarily feel like you're really walking too far because there's a bank of elevators somewhere so you can get to the next destination. MSC, some of the decks were like that, but then you get to some of the decks where their promenade space is kind of squeezed in a little bit. So on like deck 7 and 8, deck 7, when you go through, you get by the comedy club, you have to, instead of keep walking straight through to the theater, you have to make this turn, go down this tight hallway, which is barely wide enough for a person. So if you got 2 people coming, you got to kind of turn sideways, scoot around to get around to the theater. Deck 8 is blocked off on both sides by a restaurant and some other venue up there. And then on some of the upper decks, when you get to the outer decks, higher up, same kind of issue. I think, you have some of the suites venues and some of the kids club stuff block stuff off. So you have to like go inside, go to another deck to go up, to go down. So the flow, it's just not there. And to me, when you're building a brand new ship, that's just inexcusable. That's just poor engineering in my opinion. I think that they could have did a better job with the flow going through the ship. So Royal Caribbean on the layout. All right, so now let's dig into the decor. I think they're both beautiful ships. I mean, when you look at them, they're both very beautiful, elegant ships. Some of the key differences between the two, the MSC World America is very, I think it's more towards the modern edge of things, right? So when you look at the ship, you see a lot of, even the outside of the ship, you see it's very boxy, very angled, sharp points. And it's like that throughout the ship. It's a lot of steel, a lot of mirrors, very what I call cold surfaces, cold, hard surfaces. You don't find a lot of carpeting in there at all. So very modernistic feel throughout the ship. The thing that I was really surprised about is the cabin itself. The cabin itself is an identical duplicate of the Seaside class cabins. Like if I close my eyes, I wouldn't know what ship I was on because they look identical. And I think it's a little bit lazy. When you're creating a new class of ship, you should create a new class of ship, including the staterooms. Give the people something different. Give it its own unique feel and taste. And that's what you get on the Oasis class. So, the cabins on the Oasis class are different from the Quantum class, and they're different from the older ships that are out for Royal Caribbean, right? So they have their own distinct taste and shelving and different things like that. Whereas the World America doesn't. I mean, it's almost an identical copy of the ship. The Oasis class, I would say, is more of a contemporary casual feel, if that makes sense. It's more warmer, more inviting. They use more artwork. They use more colors. They use different textures, carpeting, and tile, concrete, all kind of different textures to help warm the space up. And a lot of curves. You'll find a lot of curves throughout the Oasis class. So it just feels more warm and inviting. And the promenade just feels so much wider than the World America. The World America felt very tight. The kind of chill space on there was very limited within the promenade. Whereas in the Oasis class, you've got all kind of different little places off to the side where you can sit at and people watch and things like that. And it's a much wider venue inside that promenade. So I have to give the decor to Royal Caribbean. All right, so let's talk about one that is near and dear to people's heart. We did upload the food video already for this ship as well. And of course, we've done several food videos for the Oasis class ships as we were on there. I'm gonna try to be fair, and I'm gonna give them a tie on this one. Most ships, when we go on this, and we say this about a lot of ships that we go on, a lot of ships, the food, the main dining room, it's hit or miss, and nothing really ever is bad. But there's some meals that are better. Some of you get a couple of fantastic meals. You might get some okay ones, right? So it's hit or miss. I found that to be true on here. We did have a couple of bad meals on board the main dining room, but I'm trying to just think in my mind overall with MSC, their food has improved so much from back when we first started cruising them. And so I know how their food can be. So it's the same as Royal Caribbean, in my opinion, as far as, listen, MSC, I've had the best shrimp and grits. I've had the best ribeye I've ever had. I mean, I've had some great meals on MSC. So I know what they're capable of. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though we did have a kind of a rough experience with our food on the main dining room for this particular sailing. But the specialty dining was outstanding, and that goes for both Royal Caribbean and for MSC. Just outstanding service and quality of food on both ships. And then the same thing with the buffet. The buffets are really good. All the cruise lines are kind of cutting down on the variety, right? They're trying to save money, so we know that's happening aboard all the ships. But I will say that the quality of food and the selection has been pretty good on both the ships. So we're giving them a tag on the food. All right, so now let's move into some of the technology on board the ship. So one thing that both of them have, they do have the newer, fancier elevators, right? Where you go up to the controller and you push where you'd like to go, and then it tells you what elevator to go to, what elevator bank to go to, and it takes you directly to that floor. Both the Oasis and MSC have that situation going on. And both of them work very well. We didn't have too many problems outside of the MSC. With the first day was a little sketchy, whereas I've never had that problem with the Oasis class. Even on the first day, it's been going very smooth. But after that initial day, it worked out pretty good. They both have the touch screens in the halls, right, where you can touch on them and look at your personal account. You can look at shows and venues and book things and stuff like that. So we found that to be very helpful. We like that on both of the ships. The Wi-Fi, I would say, was equally as good on board both the ships. I kind of think where the edge goes to MSC this time is going to be the new facial recognition that they have for the embarkation. It was outstanding. We walked up to the embarkation. The guy looked at our passport. Our face went right into the camera. Boom. And from then on, we were on board the ship. We didn't have to pull out our passports or anything any longer. Everything was facial recognition. Totally loved it. It was so smooth. We were on board the ship so quickly and so easily. So I'm giving an edge to MSC on that. All right, so let's dig into our last comparison that we want to dig into. And this is going to be about price. So I've dug into a couple of dates off into 2026. Now this is valid as of, I'm filming this video on Sunday, November the 30th. So these are the prices that I pulled up today for these ships. Now these are the advertised cruise line prices. These are not, discounted or anything like that. These are the prices that if you went on their website, this is what you would see. We do have access to some discounted prices from time to time. So give us a call if you're looking to book at 877-697-4470, or you can book right online, www.mr-traveler.com. But the best prices are when you call. Anyway, let's talk about price. So I looked at some hot dates for next year. So in the middle of July, middle of summer, I looked up a price for 2 adults in a balcony cabin for the MSC World America. Comes in at $33.29. That's for 2 people, and on the World America out of Miami. For the Oasis class, we have the Allure of the Seas coming out of Fort Lauderdale on the same day, July 25th. 2 people in a balcony, $4,353. So about $1,000 more for a balcony cabin. Then let's look at some other dates in December. So you want to do a Christmas cruise. World America departing December the 19th out of Miami, $31.55 for 2 adults in a balcony cabin. And December the 19th out of Miami on the Allure of the Seas, a guaranteed cabin, so you don't get to select your cabin. This would be Royal Caribbean selecting the cabin for you, is at $38.52. If you wanted to be able to select your cabin, which that MSC one is a selectable cabin, would be $42.61. So at the low end there, it's about $700 more than the MSC World America. So as far as price goes, MSC's got it. And that's true for most of the sailings on board the World of America. That's really true for a lot of the sailings on board MSC, period. Their price point is usually a little bit lower than most other cruise lines. Why? Because they're trying to break into the US market. They want you to come, give them a shot, give them a try to see how you like them. So you're going to find that the price point will be a little bit lower for most MSC cruises. All right, everybody. So, you know, looking over everything after experiencing both classes, I definitely have to give my edge to my loyal to Royal Caribbean Cruise. They do have the edge. Not saying that the World America is a bad experience or a bad ship to be on it. Not saying that at all. It is a very nice ship. It's a great experience. You know, I can't knock it at all. But if you held my feet to the fire and made me choose, all things being equal, I'm going to jump on to the Oasis class ship over the MSC World America this time. I think they have some more work to do. Yeah, to be very honest with you. If you check out our pros and cons list on there, I'll not repeat it again. You can go on there, watch it, and see what you think. But for it to be the flagship for MSC, and for it to be, you know, the flagship out of Miami, and for MSC representing the Caribbean and the US market, I think that they definitely have some work that they need to do on board the ship to bring it up to some standards, to get them a little bit more close in competition with Royal Caribbean and Carnival, to be quite honest with you. So, but I think they'll get there through trial and error. We have experienced them when they first came over here, and it was, you know, it was a little rough, but they have come a long way since they first made it to the U.S. market, and I think that they will do nothing but get better. But their problem is going to be is that, hey, Royal Caribbean is always getting better too. So a lot of competition out there for the cruise lines, which is good for us, right? Because we get to try out all kinds of new technologies and features and different things like that. So it's good for the consumer, for those of us who love to cruise. So, hey, listen, I thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. Again, please consider subscribing to the channel, and please give us a call if we can help you book anything. We book anything around the world. We've helped thousands of families make wonderful memories for themselves. And you can reach us at 877-697-4470, or you can book right online, www.mr-traveler.com. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, life's short. Have fun. See the world. Bye, everybody.